Hello everyone, I am New. Today I want to share an anime called Charlotte. The male protagonist of this anime has a very shameful ability. He can manipulate his mind to possess others and control them to do whatever he wants. He often uses this ability to peek at the young girls' figures, control the bodies of the person he dislikes to do things out of the ordinary, and even get into the best school in the country and fall in love with the prettiest girl in the school. What kind of wonderful life will he usher in next? Let's get into today's story together. The male protagonist Yu is a third-year junior high school student, and one day he discovers that he actually has the ability to control others. However, he soon finds out that this ability has a drawback. He can only control others for 5 seconds at a time, and he will fall into a coma when controlling other people. So he can't do anything more shameful than the occasional peek into the figures of young girls. However, he soon finds a way to maximize his gains. That is, during the exam, he possesses students with good academic performance to peek at their answers, and he achieves excellent grades by possessing different students. Finally, relying on this skill, he is admitted to the best high school in the country with first place. Yu looks cute and has excellent grades, and quickly attracts many girls in the school to confess love to him, but he turns them down, because Yu already has his own goal. Yumi, the school babe. At the end of school that day, Yu hides on the side of the road, controls a truck driver to drive into Yumi, and then quickly appears to save her. Yumi is saved by Yu, coupled with Yu's handsome face and excellent grades. Soon she is conquered by Yu, and the two fall into an ambiguous period. Yu thought that he could soon be in a relationship with Yumi and enjoy a happy high school time, but an accident happens. A girl named Now suddenly appears at his school, and Now debunks Yu's ability to cheat on exams and control other people. Now even recorded Yu's control of other people, and Now seems to have set her sights on Yu for a long time. Yu is afraid that his crime would be exposed and everything he has now will disappear, so he desperately escapes. Yu runs far away thinking he is safe, only to be caught by a man who rushes at him at breakneck speed. This guy, named Jojiro, is Nao's companion, and like Yu, he also has special ability. He can move at high speed, but the drawback is that he cannot stop where he wants, and he is often injured because of this. At this time, Now appears and tells you that there are many ability users like you, but these abilities are actually a disease that will disappear after puberty. She asks you to transfer to her school, Hashinumi Academy, and join the student council, where she takes the president. From now on, you will use his ability to assist Now in stopping people like him who abuses his ability. Seeing that you disagrees, Now actually disappears out of thin air and beats you up. Now's ability is invisibility, and the disadvantage is that she can only disappear in front of a specific person, and the rest can still see her. In the end, Yu is forced to agree to Nao's terms because Nao has something on him. Soon Yu takes his sister Ayumi with him to transfer and to live in the dormitory provided by Hashinumi Academy. Their parents left them long ago, and the two siblings take care of each other. Today is Yu's first day of admission, and Now explains the history of the school to him. Most of the students in Hashinumi Academy are commoners, but they all have the potential of awakening ability. In the past, such students with ability would be caught by scientists and used as guinea pigs for experimentation, and the founder of the school established this place to protect these students. Now Student Council is responsible for identifying ability users outside of school so they no longer use their abilities. Now then takes you to a room exclusive to the Student Council, where a map of the city sits on the table. Soon after, a drenched guy enters the room, drips a drop of water at a location on the map, says that the ability is mental photography, and leaves the room. His name is Kumagami, and he can spot other ability users and sense their abilities, and will come over from time to time to tell Now the locations of those ability users. Soon Now takes you to the location marked on the map, where they find a suspicious man. Now asks you to control the man with his mind, and then finds a picture of a girl's being seen through in his backpack. Under Nao's pressure, the man confesses that he bought it from a student named Yudo. Soon after, Now follows the name and finally finds Yudo, the head of the archery club of the nearby school, whose locker has been researched not long ago by Now, and she found a large number of secret photos. Yudo sees that his crime has been exposed, and actually uses his ability to take a photo of Now being seen through on the spot, hoping to threaten Now not to reveal the secret. Hiding in the shadows, Yu controls Yudo with his mind and throws the photo to Now. Yudo sees that the situation is getting wrong and picks up the bow and arrow and aims at it Now, and at the critical moment Jojiro uses fast movement to grab the arrow that has been fired, and Yudo sees so many people coming and knows that he has failed. He thought that what awaits him would be a trial by the law, but Now tells him that she won't expose his crime to the police, but from now on Yudo cannot continue to use his ability. His ability will disappear after puberty, and if Yudo abuses his ability, it is likely that scientists would find out and take him away for experiments. In fact, Yuto is not a bad guy. He only takes pictures for making money because his parents are sick and lack money. And finally, under Nao's persuasion, Yuto agrees not to use his ability in the future. After this mission, Yu still does not understand their intentions to do so. Nao tells you why she got involved in the work. When Nao was young, her brother was sent to the science laboratory by their mother because he awakened ability. And it is said that the probability of ability users' immediate family getting ability is very high. So Nao was also brought into the laboratory as well. In the process, the older brother experienced inhuman torture every day and eventually became a madman. Since Nao hadn't awakened her ability at the time, she was just examined every day and didn't get hurt. The founder of Hashinumi Academy rescued the siblings and put Nao's brother in a nursing home, and Nao hasn't seen her mother ever since. She is so grateful to the founder that she joins the student council on a mission to stop some ability users from abusing their abilities. Soon after, Nao takes you to the nursing home to meet her brother, who now has to take tranquilizers regularly to calm down. You finally understands Nao's painstaking efforts and no longer feels repulsive from what he does. Time passes quickly, and Yu has been in school for a while. Today there are new ability users, and after marking the area on the map, Komagami says that the abilities are channeling and burning. It is very rare to have two abilities at the same time, and Nao immediately rushes over with her companions. Through the research, they discover this ability user Yusa, a super idol with many fans, and Jojiro is also a loyal fan of her. Yusa has the ability to channel, and her dead sister Misa can possess her at any time, but when Misa possesses her, Yusa doesn't feel it, as if she is sleepwalking. At the same time, it is Misa who has the ability to summon flames. Yusa has recently been in trouble when she gets the wrong phone on a set that has a bunch of dirt on a TV producer, so recently she has been stalked and even threatened. In order to protect Yusa, Misa actually decides to set fire on the TV station. Nao immediately stops it, and if it did happen, it would only send Yusa to jail. Nao's goal is to protect ability users, so she thinks of a good idea to help Yusa solve this trouble, and she takes two of Yusa's friends to make this plan together. First, she asks Yusa to meet the TV producer at the park, and then uses Misa and their abilities to take down the producer's 4 henchmen in front of the producer. Misa then throws his phone at the producer and threatens him not to harass her in the future. The current Yusa is like a demon to the producer, and the producer is scared away, and he will never dare to give Yusa a hard time in the future. After this incident, Nao tells Misa that the ability is a disease that disappears after puberty ends, and in order to better protect Yusa, Nao invites her to join the Hashinumi Academy and the student council. Yusa's situation is more special, and Nao will be more at ease with Yusa by her side. For her sister's safety, Misa agrees to her request. In this way, Nao's 4-person squad is officially formed, and in addition to completing their studies, all they have to do every day is to find the ability users in the city, and then persuade or threaten them to stop using their abilities. They subdue an ability user, who can control the trajectory of baseball, and the other ability user, who can fly in the sky. In this process, they are getting closer, and they gradually become good partners. You thought that life would go on slowly like this until puberty is over and his ability disappears. But what happens next completely changes his life. On this day, Yu's sister Ayumi has a fever, and after Yu takes care of his sister to sleep, he helps her take a day off from school. When he arrives at school the next day, Komagami reappears, marking the location of the newly emerged ability user on the map, saying that the ability is Collapse. No one present has ever heard of the Collapse, and when everyone is still thinking about what kind of ability the Collapse is, Yu is startled when he looks at the location on the map, and the location that Komagami marks is the apartment where Yu and his sister live at. He remembers that Nao had said that there was a high probability of ability users and immediate family members to gain ability, and guesses that Ayumi has also awakened her ability. Just in case, Yu takes Nao and Yusa back to the apartment to accompany her sister all day. Ayumi is also a fan of Yusa, and she is very happy to see her idol arrive. They have a very homely time, but they find no signs of Ayumi's awakening ability. Yu is still worried about his sister, so he helps her take another day off from school. But Ayumi is getting bored at home, so she secretly heads to school. As soon as Ayumi arrives at school, she meets a boy who confesses his feelings to her. Ayumi doesn't have any thoughts of falling in love, so she rejects the boy and leaves. Unexpectedly, she is blocked by a girl when she runs not far away. It turns out that this girl has been secretly in love with the boy who has just confessed love to Ayumi, and since Ayumi showed up, the boy has been ignoring her, and the girl is very angry and thinks that all this is Ayumi's fault, and she takes out a knife and slowly approaches Ayumi. Ayumi awakens the ability in a panic, and the entire building collapses in an instant. When Yu receives the news and rushes over, her sister has disappeared. He goes crazy looking for his sister but is stunned by a boulder. When Yu wakes up, he hears the bad news that Ayumi died in the accident. Yu falls into a deep self-blame. He has obviously noticed his sister's abnormality, but in the end, he could not prevent the tragedy from happening. From that day on, Yu seems to lose his soul. He never goes to school again, and the loss of his beloved one makes him unable to find the courage to live. He begins to get tired of the world, and every day is muddled for him, and some friends who come to visit him are also rudely rejected by him. Yu goes to the street to provoke some punks, uses his ability to control them, fights with these punks every day, and gradually finds pleasure in the process of using violence. He becomes more radical, using his abilities to constantly fight the nearby underworld gangs. It seems that only violence can make him forget his sadness. On this day, you get some illegal drugs from a punk by chance, and just as Yu is about to take these drugs for more stimulation, Now appears and violently interrupts you. It turns out that from the first day, Now has activated invisibility and has been following you. She has watched you fall step by step, but she can't allow you to take this drug and ruin his life in any case. Now says with remorse that if she had moved Ayumi to a safe place after foreseeing that she might awaken her ability, none of this would have happened. She makes a request to you to have a meal with her, and after the meal, she will leave you alone. Yu doesn't want to be entangled by Now in the future, so he agrees to this request. Now personally cooks dinner for you, and when he has the first bite, Yu is stunned since he can tell clearly it is the taste of his sister's cooking. It turns out that Now finds a diary in Ayumi's room that shows the secret sauce of their family and a note about her brother's favorite dishes. Since the siblings' mother left, Ayumi had used this sauce every day to make various dishes for dinner. When Ayumi was still alive, Yu was very disgusted because he ate the dishes with the same sauce every day, and now because of Ayumi's death, he misses this taste very much. This dinner reminds you of what his sister kept saying when she was alive, that she hopes her brother can live a happy life. If he continues to deprave, he would let his sister down. Yu sincerely shows appreciation to Now and decides to cheer up and live well. This change makes Yu and Now's relationship seem to be one step closer. Yu returns to campus and Now gets 2 tickets to the foreign rock band Zine. Now's older brother has been into music since he was a child, and his awakened ability is to control sound waves. Now also likes the band since her brother likes it, and she plans to invite her companions to the concert together. However, neither Jojiro nor Yusa likes rock music, and Yu eventually has to accompany her. There is still some time before the concert starts, and during this time Yu encounters something interesting. He is on his way home from school and happens to meet Sarah Shane, the vocalist of the band Zine. Yu immediately comes up with a plan and decides to invite Sarah Shane to dinner. Sarah Shane is blind but is very cheerful. In front of the invitation of a local Japanese boy, Sarah Shane does not refuse. She thought she has met her fans. The two go to the restaurant to eat together, and they talk a lot, and Yu tells Sarah Shane about his recent encounter. Sarah Shane, after hearing that Yu's sister recently passed away, offers to worship his sister. Sarah Shane's kindness makes Yu finally pluck up the courage to make a request, that is, to take her to meet Now's brother. Sarah Shane hears that Now's brother is a fan of hers, but now he has fallen into a mental breakdown. She agrees to Yu's request, and Yu takes her to the nursing home where Now's brother is. At this moment, her brother is going crazy and yelling, but what Sarah Shane hears seems to be Now's brother composing music, so she sings in this noisy environment. Now's brother gradually calms down in Sarah Shane's singing and miraculously regains consciousness. Yu then sees off Sarah Shane. At this time, Now calls to thank Yu for doing these things for her, and her brother can finally recognize her. The relationship between Yu and Now has become more intimate with the help of each other again and again. Soon after, it's Zine's concert time, and Yu and Now are both dressed up nicely. Although they do not explicitly say so, now they just like a couple going on a date. Soon the concert begins, and Sarah Shane brings a new song that she has just recently written. When Yu hears this song, many memories flash in his mind, and the next moment he faints directly at the concert. The next scene shows Yu's memories. He and his sister Ayumi appeared in a prison where he heard this specific song from Sarah Shane. In this memory, all the people here were young people with abilities, and they were all caught experimenting. Yu's true ability was to seize the abilities of others, and as long as he possessed other ability users, the abilities would be taken by him. He had been hiding this ability, waiting for the moment to escape from the prison. In addition, Yu actually had an older brother, Shunsuke, whose ability was time traveling, and he was controlled by scientists. At mealtime that day, Komagami appeared and shoved a note to Yu. Unexpectedly, they had known each other since a long time ago. Komagami found ability user who had telepathy, and you could secretly contact Shunsuke to rescue him by seizing the ability of telepathy. Just as they were about to carry out their escape plan, an accident happened. Ayumi forcibly activated the ability collapse when she stayed for the examination, and a laboratory was destroyed. Scientists felt that Ayumi's ability was too dangerous and decided to erase her. In order to save his sister, Yu stopped hiding his ability. He took advantage of the chaos to find the telepathy user, plundered his ability, got in touch with Shunsuke, and then plundered an ability user's ability that could pass through walls, and finally entered Shunsuke's room after passing through a few walls. He planned to let his brother activate his ability to go back in time so that he could save Ayumi. Each time he crossed the wall, he consumed a lot of physical strength. Yu fell into a coma after saving Shunsuke, and the next moment Shunsuke's eyes flashed and turned back time. The memories end here. Yu wakes up from his bed. At this time, Komagami appears, and he seems to have expected that Yu will awaken his memories, so he offers to take Yu to meet someone. Yu has many doubts in his mind, so he and now follow Komagami to an underground laboratory in the suburbs. He then meets his brother there, Shunsuke, the founder of Hashinumi Academy. Seeing that Yu is stunned, Shunsuke recounts what had happened. It turned out that everything happened in real life. At that time, Shunsuke was rescued by Yu and returned to his childhood. It was not the first time he had traveled back to his childhood. Each time, he would gather a group of friends with abilities, ready to start rebelling against the scientists who would come and capture them in the future. It's just that even if he went through it many times, Shunsuke would still be captured each time. What's even more frightening was that Shunsuke would suffer vision loss every time he used the time traveling, and he knew that if he continued doing this, he would be completely blind and would lose the ability to travel through time. After going through loops, Shunsuke finally came up with a solution. He began to make money crazily and to foresee some lottery numbers in advance through his ability, as well as future financial trends. In the process, he made a lot of money, which he used to hire a lot of tech talents to serve him, and he also used the money to found the Hashinumi Academy, which protected ability users. Due to Shunsuke's excessive use of his time-traveling ability during this time, he eventually lost his eyesight. After that, he allowed his friends to use the ability to erase all memories of Yu and Ayumi about him, because from now on, he would hide in the shadows to fight those enemies, and he couldn't let his family grieve because of his disappearance. The reason why Yu was brought in this time is Ayumi's death, and now Shunsuke cannot use his ability because he is blind, but his ability is still there. He plans to let Yu take his ability and turn back time to save Ayumi before the accident happens. After calming down, Yu accepts his brother's offer. In this way, Yu takes the ability from Shunsuke. Then he travels back to the day Ayumi has a fever. Yu activates his ability earlier to take his sister's collapse ability, and then stops the girl from doing dangerous things to Ayumi the next day, and finally succeeds in saving his sister. After this, he takes Ayumi to meet Shunsuke, and with Yu's explanation, Shunsuke knows what happened, and also knows that Yu took his ability to travel back time to save Ayumi. Shunsuke then takes his siblings on a tour of the science laboratory he has set up, where the experimenters explain to Yu the source of the ability. They find it after investigation. Every 75 years, a comet called Charlotte passes through Earth's atmosphere and drops some powder fragments, and those humans who are contaminated by the powder gain ability. Ability users are found all over the world in addition to Japan, and this is how witches that were once popular in Europe and the United States came about. When Comet Charlotte passed through Earth's atmosphere again 12 years ago, this group of young people gained abilities. They've been working on a vaccine to stop the ability from awakening for years, and it's now in mass production. However, these vaccines are not effective on children who have awakened their abilities, and now they can only wait for the children to grow up and the ability will disappear automatically. In addition, Shunsuke can only control ability users in Japan, and he cannot interfere with ability users from other countries. Shunsuke wants to have Yu and his sister stay in the lab until their abilities disappear. However, the accident happens. On this day, Komagami senses the appearance of a new ability user nearby, and wants to take the car to the school to indicate the location, but is taken by the driver to a remote warehouse. It turns out that the driver has been planted here a long time ago to spy, because his family was kidnapped by the superpower organization of foreign forces. And today he finally finds an opportunity to kidnap Komagami. And then the group uses truth serum to get a lot of information from Komagami, including that you can take abilities from others, and can travel through time. The goal of foreign forces is to unify the ability users of all nations and then rule the world. Now Yu is the biggest threat to them. The group then kidnaps Now and threatens Yu to come and meet alone. Yu wanted to travel back before Komagami was kidnapped, but Shunsuke tells him that the boss of the foreign forces says that if they sense that the plan is a bit out of control, they will assume that Yu has traveled through time and will immediately kill Komagami and Now. The driver is a spy who has been planted before the Hashinumi Academy was founded, and if Yu had traveled back then, the academy would probably not have been created. So this time Yu has to go alone to save people. But Shunsuke also proposes a plan that if Yu notices anything wrong, he could travel back to the current moment. In the end, Yu goes to the appointment alone, but an accident occurs. The people of the foreign organization are already very aware of Yu's abilities, so they immediately send a super powerful ability user to slash Yu's right eye. Blindness in one eye makes Yu unable to use the ability to travel through time. In the ensuing battle, Yu is in danger, and finally uncontrollably unleashes the collapse ability, causing the entire building to collapse. Although people from foreign organization died, Komagami also paid with his life to protect now. Soon after, Yu wakes up from the hospital. His failure causes Komagami's death, and now Yu is unable to use his ability to travel back, which also means that Komagami will never come back. Komagami is Shunsuke's best friend, and his death has dealt Shunsuke a big blow. Looking at Shunsuke, who has lost his morale, Yu seems to see his past self when he lost his sister. Yu blames himself, but he doesn't know what else he can do, and he wants to help his brother change the world and change the tragic fate of these ability users. While Yu struggles with what to do, now gives him an idea. That is, since you can plunder the abilities of others, if he can plunder the abilities of ability users all over the world, he will be able to fulfill Shunsuke's ultimate dream. This will free all the ability users. It's a crazy idea, but for Yu, it's like a glimpse of light, and if it really succeeds, his relatives and friends around him can return to normal life, and he decides to do it. Perhaps guessing that what he is going to do is wild, Yu plucks up the courage to confess his feelings to Now. After such a long time of being together, he has been deeply attracted by Now for her bravery and kindness. Instead of accepting or rejecting him, Now says that she will wait for him to come back. If you can really save all ability users, she and you will be officially in a relationship. Finally, they pinky swear to commit to each other. Now that the plan has been made, Now will support you unconditionally, and she opens her arms to voluntarily be the first one to give away her ability to you. When Shunsuke learns of his brother's crazy plan, he also decides to do his best to help him. Now Yu is 16 years old, about 2 years away from the disappearance of ability. He promises to manage well the ability users in Japan until Yu returns. Soon after, Jojiro and Yusa find Yu, and they also decide to let you plunder their abilities, and they show their support for you with their actions. Before plundering Yusa's abilities, Nisa leaves a letter to Yusa, and after learning that her sister has had a good time with everyone during this time, Yusa is moved to tears. Before Yu leaves Japan, Now presents you with a stack of flashcards, and she hopes that it will make Yu's trip to foreign countries smoother. The small gift contains endless care. In this way, Yu officially goes abroad to start his plan, and his first stop is Philippines. Since he wants to plunder the abilities of the ability users here, he must know where these ability users are, so he has to plunder an ability like Komagami's that can sense the locations of other ability users. So he first buys some information from the locals, finds the chief of the ability users here, and gets the ability to sense the locations of other ability users from the chief's subordinate. He then begins to use this ability to search for ability users everywhere, and as he plunders more abilities, Yu becomes invincible. He travels to several countries, and legend of him appears throughout the world, calling Yu the Dreaded. During an act of plundering, Yu acquires a new ability that senses the locations of the potential ability users who have not yet awakened. He thinks of the experts in his brother's lab who once said that the ability is actually a disease. Not long ago, he also plundered an ability that could make other people sicker, so he uses the ability to stimulate the disease, and sure enough, those who have not yet awakened the abilities immediately awaken their abilities, so that he can plunder the abilities right away. In this way, whether the abilities are awakened or not, you can plunder their abilities ahead of time. However, things do not go as smoothly as expected. As you succeed thousands of abilities, his brain begins to be overloaded. At first, he has a headache, and then his memory starts to fail, and he even forgets why he wants to take away other people's abilities, only knows that he has to do it. But doing so makes him suffer more, and every time he wants to give up, he will keep going when he sees Now's flashcards. He has forgotten who gave it to him, only knows that it's something important to him. As the days go by, the Dread is already wanted worldwidely, and if anyone can catch him, he will be rewarded with a great bounty. When the final moment comes, Yu only needs to plunder the last ability user to finish his mission. He drags his weak body to find the ability user, only to be secretly ambushed by a hunter who comes to hunt you. Just when Yu is in danger, a girl stops the hunter in front of you. Even if the girl is not strong, she wants to protect the weak. Yu discovers that this girl is the ability user he is looking for, and this girl's ability is called Courage. Yu plunders the girl's ability, and the girl loses her courage and runs away immediately. Yu is in a trance. He actually doesn't care about the hunter. He only has one thought in his mind. That is, he has completed the task and he wants to go back. The hunter wanted to kill you, but at the critical moment, Shunsuke and a group of people fall from the sky in a helicopter, and Yu is rescued. When you wakes up, now is by his side. You can't remember who the girl in front of him is. Now reacts immediately that you has plundered so many abilities. It is already a miracle for him to be able to wake up. Now then says she is his girlfriend. The flashcards that you has always carried with him were given to him by now. She is glad that you has always remembered their promise, and then cries emotionally. At the end of the story, you has gained a girlfriend, and some friends are also by his side, and soon, puberty will end, the abilities will disappear completely, and they will have a happy life. The anime ends here. This anime reminds me of the classic movie X-Men. In the worldview of X-Men, the order of the whole world has changed because of the appearance of superhumans. Because commoners fear these superhumans, they have developed a large number of weapons to try to kill these superhumans. However, the whole world falls into chaos, and the great war between ordinary people and superhumans affects countless families. The appearance of superhumans is irregular, and ordinary parents may also give birth to these superhumans, which leads to the breakdown of many families and the forced separation of parents and children. At the end of the video, I would like to ask you a question. If it were you, would you accept that there are ability users in this world? Welcome to leave your opinions in the comment area. Well, that's it for today. Don't forget to give me thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you also enjoy this anime. See you in the next video. Bye.